Welcoming traveler. Get ready to level up in fantasy football.
Kage Bushin no Jitsu to everyone here watching the RPG podcast. That's Shadow Clone Jutsu. If you don't know, I'm obviously Naruto, and I will be your host for this evening. Happy Halloween, everyone. We got a nice, quiet little crew here that might become a little louder as the night progresses, as we get some beers into us. But I'm joined here by a couple of our mainstays. We got Mike, Big Money, Kashuba in the house. What do you got? You got your hockey guy? What's going on there?
I'm Michael Myers, and also Michael Mayer, and also Mike Kashuba. I'm the Mike trifecta. What else could you need?
that really caught me off guard, because you saying Mike Myers when you're obviously Freddy Krueger was like really funny. It really subverted my expectations. Speaking of Freddy Krueger, though, and that's not a transition into introducing Evan, I just have to mention this. I was looking out my front window, and my neighbor is full-blown Freddy Krueger and was just like positioned in a way where it looked like he was looking at me. And it kind of got me a little bit here, but sorry to detract from it. We have another person here with us, and is that Artie Smith, the head coach of the Atlanta Falcons?
Yeah, I just really love running the ball and not telling people that Bijan was sick during the week. That's what I'm here for. And Coach, destroying fantasy teams.
You usually got to disclose that kind of thing, Coach. What were you thinking?
I'm thinking the NFL is not going to be too strict. I'll just, play a little dumb. I'll say my dad's a billionaire and just move on with life.
Oh, yeah, that's got to be nice. Billionaire money thrown around. You can get away with anything with that kind of stuff. But yeah, baby, let's get into this, guys. We had a trade deadline today on the spookiest day of the year. And I think every year this happens. We get really hyped up. We set a lot of expectations that we probably shouldn't set, and then we're inevitably let down. And I think generally speaking, that was again repeated this year. Nothing too crazy happened. Even with talks of, Devontae Adams being disgruntled, a late second Josh Jacobs, I saw just the Raiders trying to maybe get anything they can with what their season's looking like right now. But for fantasy football purposes, we had two here that I think we could, quickly go over. And then I don't know if the boys want to talk about any of the defensive trades that happened, but let's start off with the first one, the one that I think is most interesting, especially if you're in Superflex League, 2QB League. You probably already have Josh Dobbs rostered, or someone in your league does. He gets traded to the Vikings. Kirk Cousins goes down with the season ender, Achilles tear, absolutely brutal. But Josh Dobbs has been surprising, I think, everyone with the expectations that we had for the Cardinals being so low. And he's come out of the gate with some pretty solid for fantasy performances. So we'll go around the horn here real quick. And if you guys have thoughts on this trade, I mean, are we thinking that overall this is a pretty clear upgrade for Dobbs as a 1-year rental for this year? We'll take it to Jason. Freddie, Michael. We'll take it to the guy in the ski mask first.
Yeah, I think this is definitely an upgrade for Dobbs as an individual, and it's actually an upgrade from, we're not going to talk from Kirk Cousins, but from whether it's going to be Nathan Mullins or Jaron Hall. Like, now you're seeing there's a competent, capable individual that loves to target his tight ends. So I'm going to go with Josh Dobbs as an upgrade for the offense over the replacements that they had. And he now enters the top 3 pass happiest team in the league. Sounds like a viable fantasy quarterback to me. I don't know.
Yeah. To tack onto that, pretty bad running game, so they kind of have to pass. And Josh Dobbs is a rocket scientist, if you didn't know that. So picking up the playbook mid-season shouldn't be a problem. What do you think, Evan?
Yeah, being the former OC of the Tennessee Titans and, having Josh Dobbs gone to Tennessee. Like, he just went to the University of Tennessee over here. And I just really wanted to add a third guy that people in fantasy are just like, well, I mean, they can all start. I mean, Josh Dobbs, he can run a little bit. We've seen that. I like myself a mobile quarterback over here. So, I was really trying to press for that, but he just ended up going to the Vikings.
Oh my God. I love that you're staying in character. Thank you for that. Coach Smith, really appreciate your insight. That was actually going to be my opener question that I totally forgot because I was honestly startled with how good our costumes are. But yeah, let's do that really quick before we dive deeper. I'm going to need a second because I really like candy. Mike, do you have one off the top of the dome?
If you stay ready, you don't have to get ready. Reese's Cups dominate 101. If we're talking like full out candy, I think there's some other like really good options. We're talking like Toblerone or like, a full size Twix bar. But when we talk about something that you are readily getting at Halloween, Reese's Cups all the way. Peanut butter chocolate flavor.
You named 3 like top dog chocolate options. So you must be a real chocolate head.
I'm a fat boy at heart and in real life.
Evan, you got one?
Yeah.
Sorry, Coach Smith. Coach Smith, tell me your favorite Halloween candy.
I really wanted to go with a Reese's as well, but seeing that that's not an option, I'm going to go with the Twix here. It's got a left and a right factory, and that just seems like the perfect combination to be able to run Bijan right up the middle into a defensive tackle.
So good. Oh man, I love this bit. It's so good. I'm gonna go in a slightly different direction. I like chocolate too, but I'm a big like fruity sweet guy. So I love Starburst. I love those little like 2-pack Starbursts you get where you don't know what color's in there. But I honestly, I love the feeling of you pull like a double pink or like you pull a pink red and that like dopamine hit is maybe better than the candy for me. So
I have a very, very important question.
Uh-oh.
What are the best, we'll call the best 2 Starburst colors?
Oh, pink and yellow, 100%.
Corey said pink and red from his good ones.
I'm a pink and red guy. I'm a pink and red stan.
It's pink and yellow by a mile.
Are we in unison, though, that orange is the worst?
Oh, yeah.
I actually like red. I like red less than the orange.
When you open a pack and you get a double orange, it's just like, why did I even open this?
Just a kick in the nuts.
Man, I'm surprised to hear you don't like red.
I'm sorry. That's why I'm not a big Falcons guy either.
Ooh, Artie Smith, you gonna take that?
Whatever.
Yeah. You can't really say much to.
He doesn't care about your fantasy teams.
True. Take 5s are my wife's choice, so definitely.
Erin's a smart girl.
Pick as well. Yes, she is.
Well,
okay.
You.
Well, hey now, married me even actually.
Dang, on purpose?
Yeah, that wasn't an accident. The dating part for sure was, but
just stumbled into it. It was love at first run fair.
Didn't really even know what happened there. Okay, let's go back into the football talk. We started off on some good Josh Dobbs talk, and then we had to get the candy question in. I appreciate Austin for bringing that to our attention. We got another hot question here. Who's this in our chat with the cashew last name? We got a little bit of Olivia. Okay, well we have to answer this. We got to answer this one. Literally maybe recency bias, but the Snoop Dogg, Dr. Dre, Kendrick Lamar was fun. Fire. Was pure fire. The extravagance of it, like I loved it, and that's me probably a little bit not wanting to think back too much because my memory sucks about other ones that I really liked. But that one was hot. What about you, Mike?
I want to toss it to Evan because I have a couple of options that I'm excited about, and I just want to see if he names the same one.
Artie Smith, what do you got?
So I'm going to go with Katy Perry's halftime show because
that's
Left
a good
Shark.
Option. Left Shark.
Yep. The classic Left Shark. I would also like to throw out the Bruno Mars.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
I think those are both very good options. I want to talk about maybe not the Super Bowl halftime show. I want to talk about a Thanksgiving game halftime show.
Oh.
Have you guys seen the replay of the Creed 2001 halftime show at the Cowboys game? No,
I don't think so.
Absolutely electric. And if you don't like Creed, that's on you.
I mean, not liking Creed is such a weird take to have. They're Creed.
Yeah. But that was electric. If you made me pick a halftime show, I think it's either Katy Perry or the Black Eyed Peas because it was so bad.
Oh my god, that was a meme. That was a huge meme. That's pretty good. There are some really wild ones going back into like the 90s and stuff where like they did like the Disney one and just like all kinds of really weird stuff if you go back far enough.
They were unhinged for a while.
You also can't forget about the Justin Timberlake one.
Of course. That was like my formative Super Bowl show where I was like really young and I was like, I really like football. I'm watching football. And then that happened. I'm like, whoa, that was really cool.
That was back when you used to record things on VHS.
Yes. Yeah, totally. Yep.
Recording over other videos so that you can make it work. Get space.
Big screen TVs were just like becoming a thing. You're like, whoa, this is like a 40-incher. That's crazy.
Have you ever gone back and
deep?
Yeah. Have you gone back and looked at what they were stealing in Fast and Furious? It was like 1 or 2.
Yes. Oh, dude. Just you mentioning that, me and Aaron literally just rewatched the entire, like we watched all of them like in a row over the course of like a couple weeks. Those movies are amazing, and not like they're good movies, but that they exist at all is just
so
thank you, America. Thank you, media. Thank you, the world, for having
God bless America.
God bless America. Yeah, absolutely. Okay. Well, that was some fun tangents. Let's get back into things here a little bit. We really only have one other trade that is like worthy of bringing up, because if you're in like, I don't know, super deep dynasty or best ball, Donovan Peoples-Jones might be a name that you have or have heard of. He's a decent enough player, kind of field stretcher, big body guy though, and he gets traded to the Lions, which I just want to bring this up. I know it's not that impressive, but I did predict this about a week before it happened in a Reddit thread.
Yep.
A Reddit thread about the episode we came out with last week. I put a little comment in there where I'm like, Peoples-Jones is being floated. I think the Lions could use him. And then look at that.
I have a question for you guys.
Yeah.
Does this move your needle for Jameson Williams at all? Evan, you go first.
By move my needle, does it mean confirm that I just still want to get off of him?
What are you selling him for at this point?
Playoff second.
Sad.
Man, I wish that more people have come around to thinking that like you have, Evan, because I've been sending out pretty decent offers. I've been trying to buy him actually, because I still think it's a little too early to write him off personally. And I think he is getting cheaper and cheaper. But I'm still having people asking for a first. And I'm like, what are we doing here? That's just never going to happen
anymore.
No, you cannot.
No, that's insanity.
Yeah.
Okay. We'll see if Donovan Peoples-Jones can make a dent here. I mean, he's certainly more experienced than Jameson in the NFL. He's made some plays. He's had some games. It'll be interesting to see because they're sort of similar-ish players. I mean, Jameson has the top-end speed. Peoples-Jones, I think, has more prototypical size, but it'll be interesting to see how that all unfolds. Other than that, I mean, do you guys want to get into any of the defensive trades that happened here?
I want to point out one thing.
Yeah, okay.
One thing only. Montez Sweat went for more than Chase Young did, which is just so memeable by the Bears that they would pay more for the worst player.
What is that? Like, I don't understand. Like, could they not have just offered a second for Young?
I don't know.
So the working rumor is that they had talked with the agents of both of the players, and Sweat's agent apparently made it seem like he would be more likely to resign.
Oh, okay. That does make sense.
In Chicago or in both situations? Because I think Young's definitely resigning. I'd pay for free or play for free in San Francisco.
Yeah, huge discount. I mean, you're on the team.
Or you get to go Super Bowl chase.
I mean, we were thinking that 3 weeks ago, but 3 losses in a row for the Niners, guys. Can we maybe just a side glance topic about that? 3 tough games in a row, to be fair. Joey B clobbered him, and he's back to his Joey Burr form. But brutal, guys. Brock Purdy making some not so great decisions out there on the field. And that was even kind of pre-concussion and now also post-concussion. So any thoughts there? I mean, they get Chase Young, which sucks for me as a Hawks fan. I really hate that they have freaking Chase Young and Nick Bosa. But do you guys think there's any like smoke to the fire, or fire to the smoke about the Niners? Are they doing okay? You think they're going to bounce back, Mike?
I have zero worries about them in the regular season. They're going to the playoffs. I'm a little worried about their ability to come from behind late. Like if they end up down 9 points in a game, I don't know if they're ever coming back from that. Because did you know that Kyle Shanahan hasn't won a game down 8 points in the fourth quarter?
Mm-hmm.
Ever?
Yep. Ever.
Wild stat. But I don't think Brock Purdy can do it. I don't think that there's anybody that is really exciting me from moving the needle on offense outside of the playmakers. Like, if Brock is the mechanism that makes it happen, it limits their ceiling.
Does it feel like they sorely miss Debo?
It feels like they sorely miss Trey Lance.
Get out of here. You take a drink for that. I think that's a drink.
For legal reasons, that's a joke.
Yeah, that's a drink for you.
Can I get a mobile quarterback here? You know, I really do enjoy them.
Oh, God.
Yeah, Artie, I mean, the trade deadline just passed, man. Why don't you go try to get some Trey Lance, man?
Talk to ownership and talk to the GM.
Yeah.
They just don't want to listen to me.
Yeah. You're going to take one top 10 next year. You're going to draft a quarterback top 10 based on 40 time, and then you're going to ask him to drop back to pass.
Can Evan do the podcast as a different coach every week?
Mike Tomlin next, please.
Careful.
Anyway.
Okay.
So are you worried about the 49ers, Evan, or no?
I'm a little worried about the defense, honestly.
Well,
they've been playing. So yeah, no, they just got an upgrade. I definitely agree with that. But I mean, this was supposed to be an otherworldly defense. This was supposed to be a undoubted top 5 defense, and I think there's some doubt that they are a top 5 defense right now.
You know what? Kind of to extrapolate from that, the takeaway I am hearing from a fantasy perspective is that the 49ers offense should be even better for fantasy if their defense is worse, which I don't really want to think about that.
Throw the ball.
Yeah. What you got, Mike, with your hand up?
The 49ers are allowing 17.5 points per game, which is less than a half point behind Dallas and still good for top 5.
Okay.
They're good defense.
Sure. I'm not saying that they're a bad defense. I'm saying they've had a bad 3-game stretch.
Yeah, I think what Evan is saying is that they were the perceived like overwhelmingly top defense like 4 or 5 weeks back. We were like, oh, it's the Niners defense, and then everyone else, maybe the Browns, kind of in condition for like second place. But I like, to Evan's point, they have been beaten 3 times now versus teams that like are on paper not as complete as the Niners.
True. Anytime you can lose to a guy like PJ Walker raises some red flags.
Yeah, I'm glad that the Seahawks didn't have to go through that. Although it looked like I wish I could post the text chat with my like Seahawks fan friends of that whole game, because it was so back and forth, and at the end it was really like, we are going to lose at home to PJ Walker and the Browns. Like, this is really going to happen. And then that Jamal Adams like header interception, like I was like, oh, okay, yeah, never in doubt. We were always gonna win.
Yeah, the Kirk Cousins' last full game might be his win against the 49ers. So if you like that, you like that.
Okay, so since you brought up Kirk Cousins, we're gonna take a little tangent here and say, if you're a competing team and Kirk Cousins is your QB2 on your team and you don't have a QB3, what are you doing?
Trade for Josh Dobbs, just like the Vikings.
Okay, that was going to be the question.
I'm sending a 24 third in a heartbeat.
Are you trying to get somebody that is going to be cheaper, like a Gardner Minshew, a Dobbs, somebody of that nature? Or are you trying to actually go get a stud?
Yeah, I think – oh, you go, Corey.
No, I'm pretty much in agreement with you, Mike. I think you go get a Dobbs knowing that J-Jeff is going to come back soon here. I don't think that they have it in them to punt the season with how bad like it's been for the Vikings the last couple of seasons, where like they just luck just flip flops on them so often. I feel like they're just at the point where it's like, you know what, let's go and try rather than let's rebuild it. Whether or not that's the good decision, I don't know. I think if I was in their position, I'm not, a GM or anything like that, but I might want to get a young cornerstone QB in the draft to pair with JJF and kind of rebuild from that. But I kind of see it from their perspective where it's like, they're still in contention for a playoff spot. They have JJF coming back. The defense is actually playing really well, which is kind of strange because no one really expected that from the Vikings. But I think with all the pieces that are set up for them, yeah, I mean, Dobbs has shown he can almost win games. So, they have a better supporting cast than the Cardinals. So maybe he can actually translate it into winning some games.
Isn't it crazy to think, based off of Tankathon, which I'm looking at right now, the 4-4 Minnesota Vikings would have the 20th overall pick in the NFL draft right now?
That is wild.
Can we talk about this real quick? The trade deadline. This is my formal petition on the air, live, to our one viewer right now. Move the trade deadline back a month. Because think about it in fantasy. Oh, we got 2 viewers just because of that. When you think about what the NFL is doing, and yes, we're fantasy guys, but let's talk about it from a fantasy perspective. In your dynasty leagues, when is your trade deadline? Like the week before the playoffs, like 2 or 3 weeks before the playoffs?
Yep.
In the NFL, like every single team is still alive. Nobody is mathematically eliminated from the playoffs. So why would they sell? Why would you fold it in?
I will even take it further. I think that the trade deadline should just move to being Thanksgiving. And I'd love that from a purely social standpoint of you're at your family Thanksgiving and anyone who's football fans are just like, oh man, what's going to happen?
Here it comes.
So much dialogue. I love that because I definitely felt it today with it being, Halloween, which is like kind of a pseudo holiday. There wasn't really an opportunity to like discuss stuff that much.
Yeah.
I would have loved like a full day with friends and family, like talking I think that's a slam dunk for everyone involved.
Better for the reviews, better for the game, better pizza, Papa John's.
Yes. Does anyone think also that they should just like get over it and change it to Papa Shaq's, since Shaquille O'Neal owns like half of the Papa John's franchises out there?
Only if they change 5 guys to 5 Shaqs.
Yeah. Why haven't they done that?
All right. Well,
okay. Yeah.
Moving on.
Keep on trucking here. Well, other than that, I mean, there were other trades. Obviously, they're not fantasy relevant, really. So, not going to really go over them too much. I'll just mention quickly. I love the Seahawks just making a move. That's awesome. Landing Leonard Williams. Paid pretty steep price for it, but not going to pay him as much. The contract situation, we're not going to take on most of that, so that's nice. But moving into more of just like relevant football news, I mean, can we take a minute and appreciate the Will Levis breakout? Like, let's go. What
a strange debut.
Yeah,
we're talking about how we're worried about his progressions working down the field. We're worried about how he's going to handle the pressure. We're worried about his ability to run an offense. And he just went, fuck it. D-Hop's down there somewhere.
Let's not mention the weirdest thing about the situation where he was swapping in and out with Malik Willis.
And the fans were booing every time Willis was on the field,
which is because he looked like trash.
But come on, he's still a grown man. He's trying to do his job.
For sure. I don't agree with the booing. I understand being frustrated though, because every time he was on the field, it was nothing. And every time Will Levis was on the field, it was something. Like go ahead.
Yeah, I'm going to give a little teaser for our game later. We're going to play higher or lower for players that we're worried about. Who is higher or lower? Will Levis in points per game or the entire NFL field?
It's Will Levis, baby. Will Levis is currently number one.
fantasy performance as a quarterback?
He is in fantasy points per game because he's played one game and he exploded.
That's so funny.
Number one.
Okay. So it's not like he's had like the best performance in fantasy thus far. It's that he's just
he had one
because he played the one game. Yeah,
one game that was the best.
I mean, still, I take it or leave it. Whatever. Like, say what you want. He played awesome. Like purely and simply, he played awesome. He threw it up. There was like 2 of the 3 touchdown passes to D-Hop were amazing throws, like awesome rainbow, sexy throws. And he did it against the Atlanta defense that like hasn't been giving up like a ton of points. Look at this. Yeah. Heck yeah, Mike. Other Mike. I second the deadline motion. I need arguments with my cousin over Raiders blowing Devontae Adams trade value before the turkey and mac and cheese comes out. Yeah, dude. I mean, this is actually the next topic after we have a little bit of a Will Levis celebration party. My whole line for this topic was the Raiders are a dumpster fire. And what are they doing? I want to get into this, but any other thing, like before we move off of Levis, are we expecting, I already am hearing he's the starter next week. Is he the starter season long? And why? Yes.
Evan, you're the Titans fan. I'll defer to you, but I have a lot of thoughts.
Look, I want to tell you right now, it's really interesting here. Evan's not a Titans fan, but he lives in
he's a Titans fan.
Yeah, he lives around Nashville or Tennessee. You know, he's in that area, and
you can't walk around and look at those Jeffrey Simmons posters and like not be.
Well, he's also helping build the stadium, like as his job, like that's a thing that he's doing. But on the other side, we also have Mike, who is now going this way. Mike is now like the guy for Titans talk. What is that? I mean, what is it called again, Mike? Do you want to
so it's just a quick self plug. Started working with High Point, the creator network. It's a personal brand under the Personal Corner for Des Bryant. He's taking on 32. Oh God. He's taking on 32 content creators. Each one's going to be focused on a specific team. And I will be covering the Tennessee Titans for Des Bryant's Personal Corner and High Point Sports. So
we got 2 Tennessee guys here. You guys should know everything, all the in and outs of the Will Levis situation.
Yeah.
I want to hear the lowdown. Give it to me.
Okay. So the Titans are obviously trying to win right now. They traded away their Pro Bowl safety to my team that I root for, the Philadelphia Eagles. So I was very happy with that, and the Eagles getting one of the better cover safeties in the league. But you still have Vrabel in there. He's heavily involved in player personnel decisions, and you know that he knows what he can get out of Tannehill, but he also knows that the fan base is clamoring for a change because the fan base is very disgruntled right now. They're looking at the team, they're seeing how they're doing, and they don't see any reason why they can't be competing for a playoff spot. And especially with the defense that they have, they know they have some secondary needs and some secondary issues that'll probably worsen with Byard going to Philly. But if that offense can start sparking, they have an old D-Hop. They know they're probably on the last legs of Henry. They know their offensive line is absolute garbage. So, I mean, if Tannehill can't be mobile, then you just got to stay with Levis and let him completely ride out. The biggest thing to worry about from a fantasy standpoint is he could very well become a pumpkin again. Like, you could look at him by the end of November and say, oh, Tannehill's back, Tannehill's starting, Tannehill's the guy. And now you're stuck in that limbo of, oh, well, I probably just paid 2 seconds for Levis because that seems to be the going rate of people trying to get rid of him right now. And that's basically a sunk cost at that point. So buyer beware.
I'm going to go the exact opposite direction.
Here we go. That's what I was hoping you would say.
Ladies and gentlemen, taking the mask off.
So who's that?
This is the scariest thing I could dress up as is myself and the thoughts in my head.
It's terrifying.
I was wrong. Will Levis is good at football. Will Levis he has a cannon of an arm. All of the measurables are there. And when we talk about a quarterback's development and their ability to run an offense and make the plays on the field in a smart manner, Will Levis showed everything that he needed to show against the Falcons on Sunday. I'm going to wait a little bit before I'm personally going to start buying him because I need to see it against a real defense. The Atlanta Falcons pass rush is comprised of me, Corey, and Evan. And their secondary is comprised of Eric, and Eric. It's not a real defense, which is part of the problem.
Wait, I'm Calais Campbell, right?
Exactly.
Thank you.
When we look at his matchup this week, it's almost perfect. It's a short week, so we get to see how he prepares and how he gets ready. And he gets a tougher matchup against the Pittsburgh Steelers. Their secondary is still not earth-shattering, but we'll get to see how he reacts to TJ Watt hitting him early. We'll see how he reacts to going down a little bit. We'll see how he reacts to playing with a lead because Pittsburgh can't have, what is Pittsburgh's offense? So Is he willing to make the smart play instead of the fuck it, D-Hop's down there somewhere? If he can check all of those boxes, I think he's clearly the starter in Tennessee. I don't know how a GM or a coach can look at what Will Levis did in his first game, setting records, tying Fran Tarkenton and Marcus Mariota in touchdowns in the debut game, and then go back to Ryan Tannehill. That would be malpractice from a coaching standpoint and malpractice from a development of a rookie quarterback. I think it's Will Levis. And I hate it because I was wrong, but I'm also so excited because the Titans have life. And they haven't for years.
What do you mean? Their life was hand the ball to Derrick Henry and let him run 50 times in a game.
And how'd that work when he was broken down at the end of the year?
It's really interesting. I mean, having you said all that, Mike, and Evan for that matter, besides the Seahawks game this weekend, I might be most interested to see this Titans game because it's going to be
it's interesting.
Titans versus Steelers is really interesting.
Titans offense versus Steelers defense.
Exactly. That is what I mean. Exactly.
Steelers offense versus Titans defense. Maybe I might take a nap during those portions.
You don't have to. Yeah,
it'll be quick.
You say Steelers offense, and my eyelids are getting heavy as you're saying the word Steel. All you have to say is Canada.
I love Matt Canada. He's so good. So good.
That sounds like
the football coach.
That sounds like the
no one could do better
live bet punt every drive for the Steelers.
Oh my god, that I mean that's probably good odds.
And still, usually you can get it for -110, -120 at the start of every drive. So,
jeez, I'll keep that in mind.
I do want to doing that for the Jets and Giants game.
Dude, yeah. What that was like 9 punts in a row or something?
I think it was 24 punts in the game.
It was 24 punts total, but I think it was 9 in a row.
Yeah, crazy.
It's wild. I really just wanted to shout out Mike Zimmelman's comment here of freaking Lexington Levis with Brock Bowers. Let's go. I love that pairing.
They already have an undersized receiving tight end.
Yeah, but you get 2.
Yeah, and then they're going to be used to block.
Wait a minute, Arthur Smith. You love 2 tight end sets.
Yes, and I love to make them block.
Oh, right. I forgot. Oh, so
we love
to see the Titans bring in Brock Bowers as their quality blocker.
As a lead blocker. What's Brock Bowers' biggest problem is his run blocking.
So, yes, let's make him do that. Smartest decision ever.
For sure. Okay. Well, the last point here before we get into our main bread and butter here, I just wanted to quickly, I don't know, not shout out. That's not the right terminology, but Las Vegas Raiders, what are we doing? You guys are bad. You're so bad. I'm sorry, but you are. Nothing is going right there. Devontae Adams, 7 targets, 1 reception for 11 yards. Come on now. You know that's not right. And yet, no coaching changes, no trades made before the deadline, nothing. Just gonna keep going? What are we doing? Here's my question, I guess, to actually give you guys a question for this and not just hate on the Raiders. What do the Raiders need to do next year to correct any of this? And we'll go with Coach Artie Smith first, because you know a thing or two about correcting an NFL team.
Yeah, I mean, obviously they need to fire their entire coaching staff. They need to get some offensive linemen in there. They need to run the ball, run the ball, run the ball. Probably not going to re-sign Josh Jacobs, but he's a pretty darn good running back. And, they really need a mobile quarterback. I hear that those guys are like the bread and butter of the NFL these days.
Love that mobile quarterback.
This is such a good bit.
It's such a good bit. I love it.
Oh man. Well, what's funny is that he made a lot of good points until he said run the ball, run the ball, run the ball. They desperately need a quarterback.
Yeah, and I was gonna drill in more with you, Mike. Like, what did they need to do that you could actually see them doing?
First round quarterback. If they don't have a high enough pick to get a premium quarterback, you take an edge rusher or a difference maker on defense or a premium tackle, like Olu from Penn State. Otherwise, like they just need to finally, the way that you build a roster, not to go like super GM nerd for a second, is that you want to get a quarterback. You're talking about cornerstone pieces, a quarterback, a left tackle, maybe a receiver, and then on defense, edge rusher, corner, and then maybe a premium tackler, but you can get a lot of those later. Once you have your 5 cornerstones, then you build out your roster from there. And that's expanding through the offensive line, getting the juicy parts, signing the fun guys. Once you have those, you know that this is your guy, and then these are his guys. You're able to build out from there. The way that the Raiders have built their team is that they just keep throwing Band-Aids on Band-Aids on Band-Aids on Band-Aids, and it's not a real strategy. So
just want to shout out Cole Price for commenting on Evan's really sick costume.
So anyway, the Raiders in the draft, they need to go with one of those cornerstone pieces, whether it's quarterback, left tackle, edge rusher, cornerback, or receiver. But I mean, they already have Devontae Adams. They're not using him. And Jacoby Myers looks like the real deal.
And that's the one thing, like, I think I would push even further on is they to Evan's point, they need to clean house coach wise. Like, whether it's, McDaniels at the top, just cut off the head of the snake and move on, or I mean, that's it to me. Like, that's what they need to do. Changing any coaches underneath McDaniels is just like you're putting Band-Aids on your mutilated saw leg. Like, it's just, that's not going to solve the problem.
And I mean, also, like, thinking through it real quick, we talk about those cornerstone pieces. Like, they have Max Crosby, a premium edge rusher. Like, they have Devontae Adams, Jacoby Myers. Like, they have a couple of nice pieces that if they had moved somebody that is not in their future plans for something that can help with their future plans, I don't know.
I mean, you're right. That is my impetus for even, this is why it's a note that I put on here to discuss, because it's like, you have all of these tradable pieces that could have garnered you draft picks that you desperately need to fill holes on your team. And they do nothing. They say nothing. They will not rinse, but they will repeat. And I don't know.
We're just on a podcast in our room, and they're millionaires for making the wrong decisions. So.
Right. That's the spookiest thing that's been said all night.
Real spooky.
Okay. Well,
Raiders, if you're looking for a new GM, start at the Fantasy Football RPG podcast.
Hey, this is an excellent hydra of a G. Like, we could we could swing it. We could do it. The one of us, like, you pick out one of us to do it. I mean, it's a little sketchy, but the 3 of us as like a 3-headed hydra machine.
Which, hey, if you guys at home are listening on Spotify or YouTube, we're gonna add a little poll in the comments. Just go ahead and vote if you think that we as a threesome could be a GM.
Yeah, I mean, I would love to have a threesome with you guys. So let's go ahead and move on into our next segment. This is just going to be a little game. that we play. And Mike, you are conducting this, I hope.
Yep. No, I got it. It's
Okay,
so
great.
it's called the Spooky Players. So I'm gonna name players that either like we're excited about or we should be excited about that haven't lived up to expectations for the first 2 months. And all I'm gonna do is I'm gonna name that player, and then I'm gonna name another player. And if so for example, I could say, hey Evan, who's higher in points per game, Tyreek Hill or Jamison Williams? And you would say
The cheetah.
exactly. And if both of them get it correct, I will take a drink. If they get it wrong, whoever gets it wrong takes a drink. And we'll just play that until we hit the hour mark. Easy enough. And this is going to be points per game, PPR. You guys need any other details? No like weird bonuses or anything. This is straight from Fantasy Pros.
Yeah, I was going to say, is it premium?
Nope.
Okay.
It's always going to be same position.
Oh,
So,
okay.
are you guys ready?
I'm ready.
If you guys are listening at home and you want to comment, like feel free to throw in your answers. Well, maybe it'll help them out. Who is higher in points per game? Brandon Ayuk or Jacoby Myers?
Jacoby Myers.
Yeah, that seems like a trick question. I want to say Ayuk, but I think it's Myers.
Final answer?
Yep.
Final answer.
Brandon Ayuk is higher. He is currently at 15.6 and Jacoby Myers is at 15.5.
Oh,
After last night's game, he dropped.
Oh,
remember he put up the 0 last night?
He dudded.
Okay.
Oh, I should have known that. Oh man, I'm mad.
Cheers, boys.
Yeah.
Easy Ackle. Thanks,
Oh.
Cole. Crushed it.
Whew.
Cole knows.
Okay.
Cole knows ball.
Okay.
You guys don't, apparently. You guys pick a position.
0.1 difference. Come on.
After a 0 game.
All right, we'll do running backs next.
He got us on that
Gross.
0 game though. We should have he had a 0 game. We should
Yep.
have.
All right. Who is higher in points per game? David Montgomery or Isaiah Pacheco? Two players that are kind of spooky. They're both doing well, and they were in weird places.
I'm gonna say Montgomery.
Do the Monty games that he hasn't played count against him?
It's points per game.
Yeah,
so
it's points per game.
Per game played.
Yeah.
But that also takes into account his injury game.
I'm gonna say Monty.
I'm going to go with Pacheco, even though Monty had that 40 whatever point game.
Monty is higher. And Cole, if you're at home, you got a drink, buddy. But David Montgomery is at 17 points per game, which is staggering to look at. And Isaiah Pacheco is at 13.7.
It has to be that 40-point game just propping him up.
Huge.
Yep. I figured. Yep.
All right. I have a real psych. We have a real spooky one for quarterbacks.
Ooh.
Oh, give me a second. I got to sort it the right way. All right. Who is higher in points per game? Trevor Lawrence or Josh Dobbs?
Josh Dobbs.
Oh, man. Lawrence has been so bad this year.
So bad, dude. Has to be Dobbs.
Does it, though?
I don't know. That's my guess, though. Locking it in.
Okay. All right, Corey. You
Ride
convinced
with me, baby.
Dobbs
Let's
it
go.
is. Rocket scientist.
All right. The rocket scientist is at 16.2 points per game. And Trevor Lawrence, the prince that was promised, Eric's heartthrob, RIP Eric, wherever you're at right now, 15.6. So it's Josh Dobbs by 0.6. So
Okay.
Drink,
boys.
baby. Cheers.
Do you guys have any thoughts on Trevor Lawrence? Like, is he still a top 8 dynasty quarterback? Is he somebody you're targeting to buy low? Is there even a buy low window with his golden locks and beautiful, beautiful profile?
I mean, he's going to get a giant second contract. So,
That he is.
I mean, he's pretty safe. What I will say, though, is I do see a situation where he ends up taking a Dak path. Where he gets that second contract, the second half of the second contract, he starts to fade, and he just kind of falls into that middling QB phase.
Yeah, I could see it. He certainly hasn't this year. He hasn't taken that step that I think we were really hoping he would take to solidify him as, being in that conversation. So yeah, it's looking much more likely that he's just going to be a startable QB2 forever.
Yeah, he's just going to be super flex gold. You can plug him in, but he's not the guy that's like, wow, I won this year because of Trevor Lawrence.
Well, yeah, I think you're seeing it right now. If you have him, like I'm sure many teams have him in like startups from this year that have him as their QB1, you're probably in pretty rough shape, or at least like your QB1 is not the reason why you're winning games right now.
Yep. That was a good tangent. Good job, guys. Oh, I have a really fun one, and they're full transparency. They're back-to-back in rankings. Artie, you should know this one. Which of your tight ends is higher in points per game? Kyle Pitts or Jonnu Smith? They are back-to-back, and they are both outside of the top 10.
Give me Jonnu.
No, it's got to be Pitts.
Final answer?
Yeah.
Cole, if you're playing at home, I'm not going to wait for you, but it's Kyle Pitts. 8.4 to 8.2 points per game.
Dang it.
Corey, cheers, big guy.
I was banking on that touchdown throw. Damn.
What a crazy world we live in.
It's wild, and I hate it, but it's also kind of awesome.
Yeah. Question for you.
Wait, Mike. Can you do kickers next? Since none of us play with kickers.
Can we please?
I can. Do you want it in PPR or standard?
PPR.
Yes.
All right. I'm going to pick 2 random kickers. Let's do, first of all, my favorite kicker, Dicker the kicker. So Cameron Dicker from the Los Angeles Chargers or Greg Zuerlein from the New York Jets.
It's got to be Zuerlein. They kick way too many field goals.
I will take Zuerlein.
Greg the leg, baby.
Greg is at 10 points per game, and Dicker the kicker's at 8.6.
Ooh.
Which, if you told me to pick a kicker, I would pick the one on the better offense. But
doesn't always work out that way. That's more extra points.
Extra points are worth less than those 50-yard field goals,
Yes, sir.
Greg the leg, just listen to the name. He's got a leg.
He has at least one leg.
All right, you know what?
Look, he's not as good as my kicker, though. Younghoe Koo, oh, baby.
Oh, game winner.
Team
captain
this year.
Yeah.
I think Greg is above Younghoe Koo, just for what it's worth.
Oh.
Okay, now we're going to get into real spooky season. And this only works. Do you guys play in any dynasty leagues with a defense still? Because I do.
Maybe one.
Shout out the Ferda FFL boys. That's the only one that I'm in.
One single one, yeah.
Which, hey, this is my early play. If you guys are listening to this, please can we get rid of defenses next year? They're so dumb.
Especially in dynasty leagues.
Oh, yeah. All right. Who is higher in fantasy points per game? The Dallas Cowboys or Desmond Ridder?
I thought you said we were doing the same.
But isn't that a funny guard?
That really caught me off guard. I think it's Ridder. I feel like the Cowboys had one really good game against the Giants, but other than that, it's been like okay to good.
Sure, but I'm pretty sure that one performance was more points than Ridder had in any of his games.
I agree, but I think it also goes back to how often is Ridder dudding like a complete zero versus the Cowboys even being able to get into the negatives because it's a defense. I think it's Ridder. I'm gonna go Ridder.
I don't like this game, but I'm gonna go with the Cowboys.
The Dallas Cowboys have more points per game. Cole got it right. Then Desmond Ridder.
Sorry, Corey.
Damn it.
Same prompt. I'm going to use a different quarterback.
Oh, no.
Who do you think has more points per game? The Dallas Cowboys or Deshaun Watson? And I will say Deshaun Watson has more than Desmond Ridder in points per game.
I think
Oh,
it's-
that's not fair. That's dirty. Why are you're screwing with my brain?
I can only take the phrasing into account here and say that it's still the Cowboys.
I'm going to go with the Cowboys because I think his game in week 7 tanked his number.
Yeah, he had like negative numbers 1 week.
Because he was like 1 for 5 in that game.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yep.
All right. The Cowboys are higher. And that is Deshaun Watson is at 13.7. I won't tell you what the Cowboys are at, and please don't Google it while I'm drinking.
Whoa.
Is there?
Well, wait. If the Cowboys are above Watson and above Ridder, so you're saying that they're above 13.7.
Correct. Now we're going to go to one more. Who is higher? This will be the last one that I do because I don't want to just keep going up until we eventually hit a certain threshold. But who's higher in points per game? Joe Burrow or the Dallas Cowboys defense?
Nope. I'm going Cowboys
Spooky.
defense still. Joe Burrow was awful at the beginning of the season.
Spooky.
He was horrendous.
Spooky.
Yep. Give me. What Evan said. I mean, Joe Burrow has only had like the last 2 weeks be even fantasy relevant. So I'm gonna go Cowboys.
Cole, I'll give you 3 seconds.
What? Wait. While you're giving him 3 seconds, did any of the 3 of us get any discount Burrow shares during that time when he was awful?
No, and I
Wow.
tried. I did try.
I did too.
I had a guy still. He was like, I want 2 firsts and
Good night, Cole.
2 firsts and Brandon Ayuk. And I'm like, I can't do it. I'm sorry, man. Like that's probably
just
fair.
Send
but-
3 firsts.
Yeah,
I mean,
right. Like 3
I
first
sent-
plus, basically.
I sent 2 playoff first to every team that I was a contender in and every league. And I was just like instant reject. And I was like, okay, what do you want? And you can't get a response because it's
Joe-
not reasonable.
Joe is one of those players that his persona and the like aura around him is more important than his fantasy points to some managers. Like
Yeah,
he's
Joey Cool.
he's so likable and so like has the mainstream media that there's never going to be a buy low window because even when he struggles, no one cares. It's Joe Burrow.
Yeah.
It's like if Patrick Mahomes came out for a month and he sucked, you're not going to buy low window.
Well, and we're kind of getting that, aren't we? And not 4
Well,
weeks, but getting
One
close.
week.
Yeah.
Anyway, Joe Burrow is above the Dallas Cowboys defense.
Oh, come
by
on.
0.3 points. It is 14.3 to 14.0 on Fantasy Pro scoring.
Cheers,
right,
Evan.
all right.
I
Isn't that
annihilated-
spooky though?
I annihilated this 9% beer. It's not doing good.
Isn't that spooky?
It is.
It is spooky. I'll give you that. It is spooky.
All right. Who is ready for the real spooky stuff?
Oh, are we doing
There's a
running
second
backs?
layer of spooky.
Oh yeah.
Oh no. Okay.
Unless you have something else in mind. I wanted to hit some real spooky running backs.
No, I was just maybe I should grab a blanket and like no. Okay, no, it's fine.
It's
Go ahead.
scary. Don't turn the lights out.
I'm a little scared.
All right. Sorry, I got to scroll way down for this. Who is higher in points per game? Najee Harris or Kareem Hunt?
Najee.
Oh
Najee. Najee.
no,
Najee.
bro, you're
Najee? Najee, please, Najee.
Do you want to play a game?
Can I take Jerome Ford?
You can. Jerome Holford is higher than both. Who you got, Artie?
Let me take the first round running back, even though he's been awful in Najee.
Yes.
All right. Najee Harris is at 8.5 points per game. Kareem Hunt is at 10.3. Not being on a
No.
roster helped him a lot.
No way.
He is almost a full 2 points per game higher.
Oh my god.
And I still
Hasn't
think Kareem Hunt is dust.
He's only started like 2 games, right?
What's points per game, brother?
Dang.
I'm going to
I
take
just
that
thought
one too.
that was a good one though. That was a really good
Thank
one
you.
because it was
Thank
such
you.
a differential and it seems so close.
Thank you.
Dang.
Who is higher? Let's talk about dead zone running backs.
Oh gosh,
Damian Pierce. Points per game, so we can take out injuries. Miles Sanders.
I'm gonna go Miles Sanders.
Sanders has been horrendous.
Yeah.
So is Damian Pierce. He's losing snaps.
Yeah, right?
Devin Singletary.
It's Devin Singletary is the primary back there. That's what I'm thinking.
Which is hilarious.
It's really funny, yeah. I mean, Singletary's okay. Like, he's an okay running back.
Yeah.
People just hate on him because he's small.
Did Sanders log any snaps this past week?
That he did. He registered a goose egg.
Okay. If that's the case, then I'm going to take Pierce.
All right. I will give you guys both one more guess, not with the names. What number do you think they're at?
Number
points per game.
What do you mean?
They're both under Najee Harris. Who is like? Give me a number between 1 and 8.4.
7.9.
6.9.
6.9 is what Miles Sanders or Ezekiel Elliott is at, actually. So go by Zeke for 6.9. Nice. Damian Pierce is at 8, and Miles Sanders is at 7.4.
Jeez,
so
man.
It seems like a lot of dynasty and even redraft teams. It's just you either found a late round running back that's gold, or you've Christian McCaffrey.
Yeah, honestly, yeah, yep.
Ooh,
My team the only team I have that is 8-0 now has Christian McCaffrey and Jahmyr Gibbs as my
What's
two.
up, Evan?
I was going to say, look up the backup running backs in run heavy offenses.
Okay.
AJ Dillon.
Okay.
And Tajay Spears.
I have Tajay Spears. I got that thing locked.
Gotta be Tajay. Gotta be Tajay. I'm Tajay. I don't even need to.
Wait, but think about this, Corey. AJ Dillon had multiple weeks that Aaron Jones was out of the lineup completely.
I don't care. I don't care. It's Tajay. The Packers have been so bad.
Evan, what you got? You asked it.
Yeah, I know. because
I love it.
AJ has been so bad.
He's been so bad. The running game has been horrendous for the Packers.
Do you want the bad player that got the full volume, or do you want the good player that got partial volume?
Good player. Give me Tajay.
With an awful offensive line.
I don't think here's the thing that I'm thinking of. AJ Dillon hasn't scored, right? Tajay has.
I think Tajay is getting the receiving work. I think he's getting enough receptions to be able to make. Okay, yes, Tajay.
Boom. Let's go. Okay, we got one. All right.
Proud of you guys.
All right.
I'm going to give one more spooky running back, and then we'll talk about our favorite jitterless energy drink. Oh, man. Who is higher in points per game? J.K. Dobbins or Jonathan Taylor?
Wait, what?
Wait, what? That's close. Jonathan Taylor, right? But I feel like it's tricky. I don't. What?
Why does that feel too easy?
Why does it feel too tricky?
Do you want to play a game?
Wait. What did JK do week 1? Because that's it. That's all he's played.
I think he was good. I think he was good.
He also left before halftime.
There's no way.
But didn't he have like some crazy first half? Because everybody was
He did.
Was like,
set to smash. It's JK. It is JK because he had like 2 touchdowns in the first half before he died.
Evan, what's your answer?
It's JK. Corey. This is a tricky one. It's JK.
I gotta go with JT. Give me the amount of games.
Well, it's points per game, so amount of games doesn't help you. But Jonathan Taylor is at 11.9 points per game. And J.K. Dobbins in one half of football got 11.7.
Oh, come on.
So JT is higher. As always, this week's episode of the Fantasy Football RPG Podcast is brought to you by Dubby. Use code FFRPG at checkout. A little bit comes back to the show. It'll teach Eric about football. It'll help Evan buy a microphone. And it'll help Corey with his remembering what player is good at football.
You guys made me drink too much on this one, so that's gonna be fun on a Tuesday. Thank you for that. I appreciate it. W rules, and if you're feeling jitters or jeepers or creepers, then maybe you're drinking the wrong thing. Coffee, Monster Energy drink, Red Bull, that all sucks. Do Dubby instead.
Full transparency, I actually I drink Dubby. Like I switched over from energy drinks to Dubby, and like I'm saving money because it's a tub that I use with my blender bottle instead of going to the vending machine. So
honestly, and I think coffee is the big like perpetrator here of like everyone's like, oh, I won't do Dubby because coffee. Drink Dubby and then like go drink some coffee and then like go back to Dubby. It's wildly better. It's just it's a better tasting drink. Coffee kind of sucks when you really think about it. We're addicted to the caffeine. Dubby is like where it's at.
Yeah. But anyway, thanks for tuning in, guys. Evan, any closing comments, or Arthur Smith, any closing comments?
I'm going to continue to ruin your fantasy teams, and you're never going to know who plays at quarterback. And really, you're never going to know who's even injured on my team. I just hold that close to the vest.
Now, Artie, before we sign off, tell us, man, who's going to be the starting QB this coming weekend?
You think I even know? I don't even know what's going on around this team.
I just kind of throw some warm-ups.
So somebody just goes out on the field and they take a couple snaps and they throw the ball about 3-4 times a game, and that's my quarterback.
Oh man.